Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This video is the transformation of my adult daughter Amanda's old bedroom to my new Mantown comic cave. I took about 25 years off from comic book collecting, and when things got hot during the COVID days, I guess my radar, was alerted and I got back in the game. That's good news, but the bad news is what that means is for about 25 or so years, I had 5,000 comic books sitting in old beat up long boxes up in my attic. Not unlike most collections, out of that 5,000 books, probably 3,000 could go in the dollar bin. However, the other 2,000 I wanted to take care of and get them into the house. I saw online a number of folks that are using file cabinets, and it seemed like a great idea at first. However, file cabinets just don't necessarily go with home decor. Not knowing what I was going to do, I initially started putting some of the newer slabs that I purchased when I got back in the game, and I also had a bunch of books graded. So those slab books I put into my son's old bedroom, into one of his old bureaus, and surprisingly it was a perfect fit. It was a great solution for those 50 or so books, but what was I going to do with the other 3,000 to 5,000 sitting up in the attic that I wanted to bring downstairs? Fast forward a few months and we get a phone call from our daughter Amanda saying she's moving out of her current apartment and moving into a new apartment. The new apartment would accommodate some of the furniture that she couldn't take with her originally, so she wanted to get some of her furniture out of her old bedroom. However, this bookcase that you're looking at right now could not go with her because it was just too big. She actually had two of these, and I said, you know what? I have a feeling I might be able to use that bookcase. I hopped online and got the dimensions from the IKEA website, and lo and behold, it was the perfect size for slab comic books. However, I didn't know what I was going to do with the raw comic books. That's when I got the idea of short boxes. I found these beautiful black short boxes. Now I just had to figure out how can I get them to fit properly into this cubby bookcase and look good at the same time. Short boxes are about 6 or so inches longer than the depth of each of these cubbies. And I thought to myself, you know what if I pull this bookcase away from the wall? It's obstructed by that door, no one would see it. It's also going to be blocked from the other side because nobody can come in from that angle. So essentially, you would never even know that the bookcase was pulled against the wall, and now the short boxes fit perfectly. My daughter hired some movers, and as she was moving some stuff here, there, and everywhere, this bookcase got dropped off at the house, which was good news. The bad news is I couldn't get it up the stairs because it was just too big, so I had to disassemble it and then assemble it again in the bedroom. But the good news is it really wasn't that bad a project. After assembling it, I just kind of played around with different ideas of how I could make the bookcase look good and what should go where, and well, you'll see in the video some of the changes that I made. This wasn't the very first cut, but it was one of the very first cuts, and so this photo kind of was a work in progress, and to be honest, some of the things that are here I still like better and might go back to. The centerpiece of it all, which of course is that bookcase, was in place, and now I needed to start adding some decor and getting things going. This carpet was a Christmas gift from my daughter a couple years ago, but apparently she's just too cool for it now, and so I repossessed it happily, and this is another focal spot of the room. Alright, well, the bench in the back against the wall there came from another room, so it was a perfect reuse. And I was like, okay, now I need a workspace. So I bought this coffee table here that I assembled, and the coffee table doubles as a workspace. So that top comes up and it's used as a desktop, and there's storage inside. So this is kind of a perfect little comic book nerd workspace for me. So it worked out perfectly. And now it was on to back to the bookcase. One of the great things that I figured out while I was playing around with things was that if I took a bagged and boarded comic book, just a raw book, and I slipped it under the cover of the black short box, and let the bottom of the shelf of the actual bookcase rest, you let it rest on that, you'd have this perfect little decor, if you will. And I just think it came out great. The top row is some pretty cool UK comics, and they're the superhero comics. So I kind of are superheroes comics. I did take them down, but I think I might put them back up there. And behind them and around them are slabs, as well as you can see some of the graphic novels that I have in different positions or different places. A lot of these pieces were retired or relinquished to places like my garage or my attic, and I was able to pull them out, clean them out, and clean them off and put them together, which was pretty exciting. This was kind of my first almost complete version, and then of course, like anybody else with ADD, I started making different iterations. What started off as a project that was very utilitarian, just I was looking for a climate controlled atmosphere, a place that I could put my books that would keep them safe and store them properly, turned into the ability to also have a room that could showcase just some of the, I don't know, neat things that I've collected over the years that aren't books, but that are comic book related. It gave me the ability, like these pillows, where else would I put them, right? And so now I have a place for these different things. And to be honest with you, I'm very, very excited about that. I paid about $35 each for these pillows, and they were worth every cent. And I think I might go out and get a couple more, throw them on the bed. Why not, right? I think they look great. Well, my daughter Amanda got a look at her old bedroom and thought it came out great. However, what she really noticed was I used a bunch of her things as well, including those Batman hats, the Catwoman, those two skulls, the Joker that's on the floor. You'll see this Joker that I put in a different location after. Well, the good news is she left everything except she grabbed one of those Batman hats. Hopefully she doesn't come back for the other one. All right, here's the big reveal, the big walkthrough. So the good news is my daughter let me keep this Joker rug, which I love, and glad to have it. So it looks perfect with the little desk coffee table combo that I put together. I've got some supplies in that coffee table already. The Silver Surfer trio of pillows I think look great. $100 well spent. Over here is the kind of zooming in on that Ron Lim print up in the top. So that's a lithograph that was done, I think, in 1990. It's a signed, numbered piece, and I just love it, because it represents the Silver Surfer. You got Shalla-Bal, you got Mephisto, you got Galactus, and what more do you have, right? And Silver Surfer 4 there, that mini is signed. It's a great little bust right there. Plague Doctor was an old costume of my daughter's. I stole that from her as well. I broke Galactus's helmet. He's going to be pissed off at me. These two pocket watches, one's a cool Silver Surfer one, one's just a cool looking one. I got at just a small con not too long ago, and I just think they look cool. And this little sign that was a sign that my daughter had on her wall in that exact spot was the perfect place to hang them. The quilt that we're about to see here on the bed is something, again, that was relegated to storage for probably 30 years. These are t-shirts. I found a company, again, back in the 90s that specializes in making quilts out of old t-shirts. And in the old days, t-shirts were just lousy quality, and so it was a perfect way to, preserve them. So I'm thrilled that I did it. I'm also thrilled that I was able to revive some of these babies, So the two, top left, top right, those are newer, but the Silver Surfer 50 is actually a t-shirt that I framed about, again, close to 30 years ago. I think that, some of these covers or some of these books I love, but more than anything, they just look good in the room. They just kind of match. The wall is a kind of a purple background. So this one here is signed, at a con. I met Arthur and he signed it, and it's not worth anything just because I cut it up to fit in that frame. Again, that's my t-shirt. There's a Silver Surfer guitar, Batman guitar. This is a signed piece as well, Catwoman art. And these are the higher grade slabs that are homage covers. So I was like, okay, let me put some homage covers on the top shelf there. Of course, you see some of my graphic novels as well. But my goal was just to have something a little bit different. I've got homage covers that I like better, but they're not all slabbed and they're not all high graded. But I'll mix it up after, change it around just as I get bored. And I couldn't be happier with the fact that I figured out a way to display these covers, right? You have to be careful if you're going to do something like this. They can fall to the floor when you open that cover. And so I wouldn't put any Amazing Fantasy 15s there, if you know what I mean. So, you don't have to put inexpensive books there, but just realize that, you got to be cautious. And again, a place for that quilt, which is nice. Those blue little cubbies over there, I put supplies, boards, bags, things of that nature in there. And I also put different books that kind of transition, the ones that are working their way into the storage boxes that I haven't inventoried. That Joker right there was a shade for a windshield for my daughter's car. That was another gift to her, but she's way too cool for that now. Again, I am not way too cool for that right now. And behind that door, you'll see a couple CGC boxes. One of my Silver Surfer, Silver Age books. Another one is one that I haven't even opened yet. There's some modern books. So I got to do maybe I'll do a video on those, but I got to take a look at them soon. But this is it. That's the final look, and I'm really, really happy with it, and I'm really glad that if you stayed to watch this video, I really appreciate it.